Welcome folks, my name is Alex Gonsiewski. I'm a guide here at John Hazel & Company in Deschutes Angler Fly Shop in Maupin, Oregon. Today we're going to be tying a purple and orange Steelhead Muddler. Easy fly to tie, it takes a little bit of practice. We're going to show you how it's done. Muddler minnow is a perfect steelhead fly. I fish this thing sun up to sundown on the Deschutes River and just about anywhere else at summer steelhead swim. We're tying this muddler on a Daiichi 2110 size 6 hook, Limerick bend, down eye, perfect hook for bombers and muddlers. In lieu of thread, we're going to use floss, glow bright floss, to create the body on this. I like using floss because it creates an even, smooth body and is easier to work with than thread. Our ribbing on this fly is going to be French tinsel, silver, extra small. I'm going to lock down the tinsel using the floss as I work the floss back towards the hook point. It's important that you get even coverage as you work back towards the point of the hook. I'm going to end with my thread even with the point of the hook, and then I'm going to wrap the floss back up the fly again, making sure that it get even coverage. And create a dubbing loop to dub in my purple Angora goat. Wrapping the thread up to just about where the head is going to start. Angora goat is a great dubbing for steelhead flies. It's got good shimmer to it and picks out very nicely. I'm going to add Angora goat to the dubbing loop. Spin up that dubbing loop and pick it out a little bit with my dubbing brush. A little dubbing goes a long way. We want a slim profiled body with a little bit of leggy, buggy dub. Wrap that dubbing forward, pulling back the fibers as I wrap up and lock off the dubbing loop with my trim that. Next step is wrapping my ribbing forward. I counter wrap my rib. Mostly aesthetically, I like how that looks. Also, though, I think it locks the materials in place nicely. Wrap that up, and as you wrap it through the dubbing, pick that dubbing back out so you keep that nice buggy nature. Lock off the tinsel with the floss. Trim the tinsel. And now we can pick out the body a little bit more with our dubbing brush to get that thing nice and buggy. At this point, I'm going to whip finish off the floss. For the rest of the fly, I'm going to use 6/0 purple thread. It's a little stronger than the floss, and when I tie in that muddler head, that deer hair head at the end, it's going to help me spin that hair nicely. Tie in the 6/0 thread. I'm going to tie in a squirrel underwing. Squirrel makes a great underwing material. It's got good movement, good color combination of dark and light. I'm going to clean out the under fur from my squirrel. Kind of even up those tips, and you want the tips of this to extend just beyond the bend of the hook. Lock the squirrel down. What I like to do to lock it down is pull back some of the hairs, make a couple wraps, pull back some more of the hairs, make a couple wraps, and then pull back the last couple of hairs and make a couple wraps just in front of that. Trim those butts short. Make sure you get all of them. Keeping everything nice and clean and little bulk in the front of the fly is going to go a long ways when we go to spin that muddler head. My overwing is going to be Ozark turkey. When you buy this turkey, they come in matched pairs. You need to take a piece of turkey from each feather. Roughly the width of the piece of turkey you take should be roughly the width of the hook gap. You can see here I have my two pieces, and I'm going to match those up so that the butt ends and the tips are even matching them up, getting them everything dialed in. And when I tie these in, I want the tip of the turkey to go just beyond the tip of the squirrel. Get everything dialed in. You're going to make 2 loose wraps and you're going to pull up on your third one, and that should tighten it in place. Every once in a while, like you see here, it doesn't go in quite like I like it, so I'll back it off. And again, get everything, make sure it's centered in the middle of the fly. Couple loose wraps, tightening as I pull up, and then tighten that bad boy down. Then you can use your fingers to adjust that thing so it sits right. Sometimes it doesn't want to sit over that squirrel tail just right. Trim my butt ends. Fiddle with it a little bit more. The steelhead don't care. I do. Next, I'm going to tie in a guinea hackle, and I'm going to prep it by removing all the fluff from the bottom of the guinea hackle. And then I'm going to tie this thing in by the tip. So I'm going to work the feathers back a little bit so that I can tie it in easily by the tip. Tie it in by the tip, and I'm going to wrap it around twice. This is just going to give me a little hint of orange in this fly to go to kind of contrast the purple head that I'm going to tie in. Wrap that thing, and kind of brushing the fibers back as I wrap, and then clean off the remaining fibers. Wrap it one more time and lock it down. Again, a little goes a long ways. You really want to work on keeping the head area as bulk free as possible so that when you spin that deer hair head, it spins nicely and uniformly. Next, I'm going to tie in Lady Amherst wings. What we call these shirashi horns. This is an aesthetic piece to this fly. I think it looks cool in the water. It adds two more little points of boogie. Not necessarily, but just a little added flair to a steelhead fly. We're going to tie in our muddler head. Now this is for a lot of people is the hardest part. You want a big chunk of hair, and you want coarse hair and hair that's not calicked. All of it's moving straight. I'm going to clean it out. I'm going to get all the under fur out of there. I'm going to stack it, and then I'm going to measure it. Once I measure it, I'm going to cut the butts flat so that I have a good working surface. Hold that thing, 2 loose wraps, 1, 2, and then pull down and let that thing spin. As it spins, you can kind of use your finger to manipulate it and make sure you get full coverage. You get 360 degrees of coverage when you spin that hair. If you have to back it off a little bit and spin it with your finger and then crank it back down, do that. Once you're satisfied with the coverage, you want to take a couple good hard pulls, and then you want to start locking down that hair. And I lock it down the same way I lock down the squirrel hair. Pull some back, about 1/3 of it back, make a couple cranks. Pull another 1/3 of it back, make a couple cranks, and then pull it all the way back and tie off the head. I'm going to use a whip finish tool to whip finish my head, and then we can talk about trimming a muddler head. When we trim the muddler head, we want to make a flat cut on the bottom, and I want to make 3 wedge-shaped cuts, 1 on the top and 1 on each side, angling back away from the hook eye towards the back of the fly. My first cut is going to be, again, flat, right along the bottom. Cut as much hair off in one cut as possible. My second cut is wedge-shaped. Slight angle from the eye of the hook towards the back of the fly. Then I'm going to make a cut along the side. Again, slight angle from the eye of the hook to the back of the fly. Same thing on the other side. Couple cuts to get all those loose random hairs that we missed on the first cuts. Smushing the head flat as I do it. And there you have it, a completed muddler. Ready to swing for summer steelhead anywhere they swim. folks, there you have it, a completed Steelhead Muddler. From all of us here at Deschutes Angler, happy tying and keep those boots wet.